All right. Sean Kelly wants to know who is the best grappler between Damian Maia, Khabib, Jacare, and Ben Askren, and can you rank them?
Ooh,
that's a good question, Sean Kelly.
It's a good question because they threw Askren in.
Mm-hmm.
It would be Maia between the other three, and Maia actually beat Jacare for a world championship 1-0. So Maia wins that, and but boy, when you throw Askren in there, I can't think of a set of rules. Let's just go by EBI. I think that's the most complete set of rules. I can't think of a rule set where Askren's not going to come out on top.
David Mixter wants to know, Chael, will you and Joel ever do a fight companion type show where you watch the fights and talk about them like Rogan does? I don't even know what that means.
Why would you? No, I don't think so. I mean, I could see myself doing one, but what would Joel say? Oh, God, I wish Anderson was in there. That guy will fight anybody.
William Millender wants to know who Chael's favorite superhero is. Hold on, I think I know who it is.
Who?
Anderson
Silva. I've never understood that when people have favorite superheroes. Superman trumps everybody. So why would you ever have a superhero that couldn't beat another superhero? Everybody in the history of the world's answer should be Superman.
Vinny Chance.
Though I will say I liked Black Spidey. You know, I like those Spider-Man series, and Black Spidey specifically was pretty cool.
Vinny Chance wants to know...
the best movie about a superhero isn't even a close second. It's the first ever Iron Man. Not even a close second on any film ever would be first Iron Man.
Chael, people keep asking about
starring
a fight
Anderson
story
Silva.
Out of the Cage. Can you tell us the story about your brawl in a casino?
Yeah, it wasn't a brawl in the casino.
Is this when the girl punched you?
Yeah, I was standing with my now wife and my mom, and I got punched. And the guy that punched me just slowly walked out. And I was looking right at him, and I thought, I'm just going to grab him and throw him for five. I'm just going to soup him. My first reaction. You're going to punch me and turn your back to me? And instead, I followed him out because I was doing business at that casino. We were there for a show, and I was standing with the VP of marketing who had brought our event in. So I followed. I was going to let the whole thing go, and he's the one that said, "No, you got to press charges. That gal hit you." And I'm thinking, why is he saying gal? That dude just hit me. And it was this box with shaved head and then the long ponytail. So anyway, we got to the door, and I just told the security guard, I said, "Hey, that guy hit me." And he said, he kept saying who, and there was only one person there, and they're walking away. And I'm like, him, over and over, and he kept saying that girl. Anyway, it just turned out it was a girl. I mean, the story was nothing. I got hit, and I called her a him, so I guess we're both even.
James Edward wants to know, what activities do you do or compete in to relax or wind down?
Man, if I was relaxing, I would probably just be sitting on the couch, surfing the internet, watching the news. But I don't know that I have a lot of activities, man. I'm an avid indoorsman. I cannot figure out for the life of me why you would go outside if you didn't have to. I know people that camp in the name of vacation. I wish I understood it. I couldn't imagine going from a nice place to a less nice place in the name of vacation.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I've never understood that as well. You pay money to live in a house, so you're going to go and move outside of your house. And we had Mike Perry on the show. He said that's how rich people go out and act poor.
Yeah,
they go camping.
Yeah, I don't understand. Though I wish I did. I have friends that can hike and go outside and catch fish and build shelter and do all this. I think it's an amazing skill. I don't have it, and I'm not looking to acquire it.
Chael, Brad Cisneric wants to know, Chael, you did an amazing job on the Tough 17. So did John Jones, both impressive coaches.
I know people with bomb shelters, Joel. I know people that have bomb shelters and food stockpiled and how they would live if the government collapsed or the country lost electricity. And I'm out. That's my contingency plan if that happens. I'm out. If the A-bomb's going to fall somewhere, fall right on top of my head.
Chael, you did an amazing job on Tough 17. So did John Jones.
I really did.
Both impressive coaches. It's hands down my favorite season that has ever been put out.
And the highest rated.
What was your favorite moment from Tough 17, and who surprised you the most?
Oh, the friendships was for sure the best part, man. That was very real. Everybody really had to come together. It's a very tough experience, and I don't agree with or know why they make it so tough on those guys. You know, sticking them in a house with no television, no contact to the outside world, no newspaper, no information whatsoever. We even spent 2 holidays in the house, and people couldn't call home to their families. I didn't understand that part of it. I thought, well, if they're going to go out and fight, and we're making this about a sporting event, just make it like a real sporting event. People at Olympic Village all have to live together and eat together and travel together, but they still do have some normalcies of life where they can go and get outside of their head for a little bit. So I thought it was strange. I still think it's strange. I know that the concept in the beginning was to create some major drama and get guys drunk and lashing out and breaking stuff and doing all sorts of craziness. And I get that that's good for TV, but you know that era has left. It is now focused on the fact that it's the toughest competition in all of sports, the toughest tournament out there. Focus on the competition, man. Let those guys be regular guys.
All right, this is a great question coming from Jake at Pixton, because I know you are a very structured eater. Now that Chael is back to being an active fighter, what does your daily diet and or meal plan look like?
Yeah, so I mean, for the most part, I eat when I'm hungry, and I strongly resist anybody's opinion on nutrition. I could punch holes in anybody's theory, any one of them. You could argue carrots are better than chips. I could say chips are better than carrots, or I could go the other way and tell you why carrots are there's no proof to any of it, man. It's calories in versus calories out. You want to have 2,000 calories a day, and you want to make that a Big Mac and a milkshake, then make it a Big Mac and a milkshake, and you will lose weight. As long as that you consume less calories than you burn.
All right, it's March, which means it's time for the madness. And it's crunch time in the NBA. So you know we got it all covered on the big podcast with me, Shaq.
And we're way more than just sports, Shaquille. So be prepared to laugh, folks, as we bring you the best basketball coverage, the biggest names in hoops, like Kevin Garnett, Chris Paul, Dick Vitale, Grant Hill, Chris Webber, and many, many more.
The big podcast with Shaq. Check us out with new episodes every Monday at podcast1.com.
You're welcome with Chael Sonnen.
Aaron Gaddis wants to know, who is the baddest man on the planet right now? Who would you push all your chips in behind?
Well, the baddest, like who could beat up anybody else? Is that where I think that's what that question means?
The baddest man on the planet, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that means pound for pound. I think that means what guy could beat up any other guy, and I believe it's John Jones. I think he'd slide right up to heavyweight and clean house, and he's proven it down in the light heavyweight division. I say John Jones is the baddest dude out there.
I'm going to say Stipe, even though nobody asked me. Rafael Toro wants to know, ask Chael if there's any hope on earth we can see Neil Melanson versus Josh Barnett in a SUG cage.
Yeah, so those guys, there was a very limited talk, but the talk did exist that they were going to compete at a Metamoris. And then Metamoris went under, so I think that competing at SUG might be the place for them to go. I would love to see that. I'm with you completely. Two of the best grapplers that I've ever come across, both catch wrestlers, as we talked about earlier with somebody else's question. I'd like to see that match too.
Andy Coots wants to know another Hendo story. Do you have another Hendo story? Your story about Hendo not knowing you had a fight or who was the champ had him in stitches. So
with the great advice he gave me, yeah, I could get you a Hendo story. I mean, we'll have to circle back to that. I can't pull one off the top of my head.
Okay. Also, will Vanderlei sign the paper?
I can tell you that I think so. I think if Vanderlei got offered that fight, I'm sitting around waiting for that and even expecting it, in my opinion. However, I'm not positive that he's under contract yet because, if you'll remember, he got suspended before I did. And somehow it turned into a lifetime ban.
And then they backed it up to 2 years.
No, maybe. I thought they did. Is that what they did? I thought they backed up to 5. And then they went in a third time and backed it up to something else that was never disclosed to me. Like they made a backroom deal and it was never disclosed. I've never known the date when he is free to get a license. And I don't believe it's today. I don't think he and I could go fight today. but I think it's coming. Like summer of this year is what I was told by somebody, but I don't know what.
Yeah, I mean,
what summer means.
I thought Coker was angling for that around Christmas time. I remember calling you, and Coker. This was before the Tito fight was announced, and Coker said, "Yeah, I think they'll fight in the summer of next year." And I remember calling you and saying, "Hey, is this going to be your first fight?" And you were like, "No, I'm going to fight Tito here in a minute." They just haven't announced it yet. So, I would like to know too.